friend. I am making this video about responsibility. I'm breaking that word down, responsibility, into how I am practicing my ability to respond to anyone or anything outside of myself, but also, more importantly, how I'm responding to myself and my inner world. Basically, making sure that I'm giving myself what I want and laying that groundwork so that there is less and less of anything unwanted in my outer world to respond to. And I'm getting the hang of this. It's just a slight perspective tweak. But when it comes to someone or something outside of myself, I am recognizing the most important thing that I can do is respond in feeling the way that I want to feel. So, and I've had multiple times to practice this since yesterday, so I know it's working, and it's working for me. So, normally, if someone or something presents in front of me in my observable what is in a way that feels unwanted, and I always know it because it doesn't feel good, I do not have to respond to that thing or person, especially in ways that I had typically had a pattern of responding, which means I don't have to defend myself, I don't have to argue, I don't have to respond in any way where I'm feeling like that's unnecessary, right? Because I know I've done it enough times, and it's an echo from a habitual pattern that responding is only going to lead me down the path of more of the same. And so what I'm doing is I'm nipping it in the bud by not responding in the ways that I maybe would have responded before. This has been the most challenging part of applying Neville Goddard's teachings to my personal experience, my personal life, to applying it to whatever is in front of me. But Edward Art has been extraordinarily helpful in kind of breaking it down and laying it out so that I have a better understanding of kind of where I kept making a wrong turn. And it's not a bad thing, but I recognized that it was a thing that I wanted to discontinue doing so that I could do other things and change my state of feeling to another state of feeling that was more in line with what I want. And so by doing this, I no longer am observing myself moving in the direction where I have to blame someone for what they say or do. I don't have to defend myself by saying why, or explaining myself, or saying why I'm doing a thing, or just getting into a bunch of argumentative or miscommunication-y type interactions, right? Which has been, when I look back and I think about it, that has been the ongoing theme throughout my whole life. And it started with my mother, right? And see, that's why it was never about her. But when I now have the tools and I can see why I was doing the things that I was doing, which are things that almost all of us do. We do it in response to protect ourselves and to feel better. But it rarely ever leads to feeling better, because often in that kind of push and pull with another person outside of yourself, somebody has to be wrong for someone else to be right, or someone else has to change for someone else to be happy. And we don't have to do that. With these teachings, we don't have to change anyone. And this world is perfect just the way it is. There's nothing in this world to change. The only thing that we have power and control of changing is self. And that's where Edward Art has come into his own, because I get things now so much more fully. And now I'm off and running, It's like I've had, obviously, if you watch any of my videos, really strong starts, and then I hit a wall, and then I crumble, and then I have a lot of reshuffling and revising and reprocessing of my emotions and all of that, and that's fine. But now I am not having to do that. I'm actually feeling in control of how I respond and in my own emotional response. So it's like I'm conditioning myself to respond in truth, in the flow of reality of how things are that I want them to be, which are all good, because I'm not out to actively hurt or mess with anyone or anything. I'm just literally only focused on myself, changing myself, giving myself what it is that I want, that I need to create the life experience that I want to live, So that is feeling amazing. And so like I said, I've had ample opportunities to test this out because of, my partner has kind of like responses that he will give just automatically. And I recognize now those things are only echoes of what I was giving to myself and believing. And it's not. It's actually less and less, because I'm not joining that that focus like I would have, because it's not outside of me anymore. I've recognized my responsibility for looking to myself and seeing what it is that I'm feeling and what that's creating. And like I said, if something is unwanted outside of myself, all I have to do is disengage and not respond in a way that maybe I would have before, which would be to defend or be argumentative. So by not responding in those ways, I'm clearing the path. I'm re-smoothing the vibrational path for my own unfolding in my experience. And it's now more and more what I would expect it to be, which would be to feel good, to have pleasant and enjoyable interactions, which I mostly have. It's when I bump up against the parts that don't feel enjoyable that I was having a reaction that was then activating a lot of other things. And I can tell you this, they all stem from fear. Everything that is unwanted, that doesn't feel good, that you want to fight and resist and argue with, those all are presenting in the outer world, because in your inner world, you have at some point bought into the belief, the feeling of fear, a fear-based feeling. And once you have a feeling, and this is me saying this is what I have surmised through these teachings, is that the feeling then calls to whatever thoughts are in a vibrational sameness or likeness of that feeling, and they come and they surround that feeling, and they give it structure. They give it a sense of realness. And that's how, in my opinion, beliefs become formed. And then they build their own momentum. So they start building their own stories. And this works exactly the same for good feelings as well as for unwanted feelings. The only difference that I can tell is that good feelings feel true and they feel good, right? And they seem to attract more and more things that allow good things to unfold in your life. But anything coming from a place of fear seems to attract more thoughts and scenarios that unfold in your life that are like fear, that are that allow scenarios that are unwanted to become experienced. And yeah, I'm over that. Like, I don't, I'm good. I've had my share of that, and now I'm getting to the heart of it, which is I don't need to go down that path anymore. I have a better solution to what I want to experience, and it's 100% my response ability that is taking me there and opening things up for me in a new way, in a more consistent way, because I'm more aware of it now than ever before, and I am present, perfect awareness. So this is only adding to the momentum that I've been after for I don't know how long, most of my life. But now I'm feeling it as a consistent reality, whereas before I would go along and I would have some good momentum, and then something would come up that didn't feel good. It wasn't wanted. I was not taking responsibility for that experience. And now I am. And now it's making all the difference. So I'm going to continue deep diving with this because it's like anybody says, don't take my word for it, test it out yourself. Edward Art says it, Neville Goddard says it. Almost any teaching will tell you that. And I think that's key. Test these things out and see if it doesn't help you turn a corner on something that maybe you were struggling with or having a hard time with. Because I can tell you, I felt like I was beating my head against a brick wall a lot with people that I love. And it was only hurting me, right? I was the one, I was really feeling like I was the one suffering. And of course I was. You're going to suffer if you're beating your head against a brick wall. We don't have to do that. So there's no brick wall unless you are creating that brick wall. And that's just not how it has to be. So I feel like this is really good news. And I'm going to end the video here because I know I say this a lot, but I'm really, really trying to make shorter videos to not, keep people sitting too long listening to me. And because I do like to hear myself talk. But I'm excited about what I'm talking about. And I do live in the middle of the woods. And we did just get over a year of COVID. I don't have to defend myself to you. You're my friend. Oh my goodness. Okay. But anyways, in an effort to make it short and sweet, I'm working on it. Thank you. Thank you for your presence. Until we talk again, friend.